The world of Homebrew is truly fascinating, and the Sega Master System has more than its fair share of dedicated fans that are out there creating Homebrews and ROM hacks to this day. I'm going to cover both in this video, although I'm going to start off with Homebrews in the beginning to give you guys a flavour for what you guys can be playing out there. If you've not done this before, it's dead easy to get started. You'll need an emulator to run the games either on PC or a modded console. I'm not going to cover how to do that in this video. There are plenty of videos out there that will show you how to do that. What I am going to cover is where to get some of the games from and some of my favourites. If you don't have any of that equipment or any of that, you can go and buy yourself on eBay a cartridge that is basically an EverDrive that will help you run those games. Here we go. Flight of Pigarus was developed only a few years ago by a very talented guy, GG2SM. He's made a few games and he's going to appear on this list more than once. This is one of my absolute favourite games, and yeah, you are literally a pig that can fly. It's a really creative shooter, and I definitely recommend you give this one a try. Bara Buru is also from GG2SM and is a bit more of a puzzler. I think this actually got a bit of a limited run by Two Minds, a French chap that makes physical games. You can pick that copy up now, I think. He's actually also making them for the Mark III, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I definitely recommend if you like puzzlers, a little bit similar to Bubble Bobble, then you're going to absolutely love this game. Silver Valley is one of my absolute favourite homebrews on the Master System. I've played it an absolute ton, and it's one of those games that when you start you find it very difficult to put down. It's very much got Castlevania vibes, and it was developed by a Spanish chap called Ruiz. He's actually developed quite a few different games and regularly features on the SMS Power coding competition, which is a comp that allows a lot of the developers to put their minds together and compete and have a bit of fun. Happens every year, so I definitely recommend that you get yourself on SMS Power and check out as many of these games as you possibly can. But yeah, very much Castlevania vibes on this one. It's a lot of fun. It's just very, very tricky to master, but sucks you in, and yeah, definitely recommend you give it a go. Here we have Extreme Volleyball Infernal League. This was actually the winner of the coding competition a couple of years ago and developed by a guy called Rafnet. Really good guy. He's developed a few games over the years. This is probably my favourite. Definitely recommend you give it a go. It can be frustrating at times, but it definitely lends itself to the more you practice, the better that you get. There's a really interesting dynamic in the game that there are these little question marks that fall down from the sky, and they give you certain abilities to power your character up to help you along the way, which I really enjoy. Definitely worth a go. Stygian Quest is actually 2024's winner for the coding competition. And quite a lot of thought has gone into this one, visually, as well as the way that you play the game, the way you advance your character. You've got to put an awful lot of thought into how you approach each puzzle and each new level, and the game will have you backtracking so that you can face new enemies. I don't want to say too much, but you're going to need to essentially plan which enemies you take on in what order, and you need to backtrack to go and make sure that you've got certain items so that you've got enough health, that sort of thing. I definitely recommend you give this one a go. It's a lot of fun, and it's got quite a nice little plot and story with the game as well. Here we have ROM hacks, and unlike Homebrews, these are existing ROMs that the developer wants to modify. There could be many reasons for that, including getting Game Gear games to run on a Master System, or perhaps they want a ROM to support a new language. There's also a plethora of games that have been developed and made available through the Kid Ed suite that essentially allows Alex Kidd in Miracle World to be tweaked and changed to make a completely different game. The two most notable Alex Kidd in Miracle World clones are probably Alex Kidd in Miracle World 2, which you can see running here, which essentially is a complete follow-on from the last ending point on the first game. This was developed a few years ago now by Ian Wall and has been used pretty much as a blueprint by many other people that are looking to make games of a similar nature. That's really because there's not really much development involved at all. Not even low code, to be honest with you. It kind of negates the need for programming, and the suite is dead easy to use, and that's why so many people can pick it up and make their own game. And here we have the third game, Alex Kidd in Miracle World 3. If you're a fan of Alex Kidd in Miracle World, then definitely recommend you check both of these games out. This one was developed not by Ian, but actually by a French chap by the name of Yeti Bomber, quite well known in the French Master System community, and a good guy. So you can also make Alex Kidd in Miracle World look completely different, and here is a great example in Octo Unleashed. This is very much a fan-made game made by my buddy Ricky. Actually, just want to say a quick thank you to Ricky in helping with a bit of advice putting this video together, so thanks ever so much, mate. Yeah, I really enjoy this game. It really is very, very different to the original ROM that was used, namely Alex Kidd in Miracle World. And this is a bit of a mishmash between sort of Alex Kidd and probably close to the likes of Psychic World, one of my absolute favourite games on the Master System. Plays really, really well, fairly tight controls, quite a lot of platforming and jumping about. And yeah, it is brutal though, tough as hell, so you've been warned. You've then also got the Game Gear conversions, and this is usually called GG to SMS. You've got, in this example, Alest 1, Alest 2 and Alest 3, part of the Power Strike series. All three of them are definitely worth a try, but you might need to read some instructions or a tutorial maybe in terms of how to convert IPS files into playable files and then export them onto a ROM. It really is dead easy. You can literally just Google it and a little tool will come up in Google so that you can put the IPS file and apply it to the existing ROM. Dead easy, and then it should work brilliantly on a Master System. Lots of fun, these games, and definitely recommend you check them out. particularly if you're a fan of the original Power Strike and Power Strike 2 on the Master System. Also worth mentioning that there are physical copies of all three of these games available on Facebook. So here we've got another really interesting ROM hack, which is actually on the Golden Axe ROM, and some clever spark has worked out how to change the character so you can play as Tyrese Flair. I remember there being a bit of a physical limited run on Facebook of this one, on one of the groups I think, so quite a few people went out and got a copy. But you can download the ROM completely free, and again you just apply the IPS file, dead easy, and yeah, a lot of fun. You can play the game just as normal, but as a different character. So this one's been floating around on the internet for quite some time, and it's Sonic Triple Trouble. It's originally a Game Gear game again, that again Sunbright Spark has converted to play and run on the Sega Master System. It's actually a lot of fun. It does run as a Game Gear game, so you've got to bear in mind it was built originally to run on a completely different aspect ratio, but run it does. And it actually does a pretty good job. It plays pretty well. Definitely recommend you check it out. And again, dead easy to download. Again, you just take the IPS file and apply it to the original ROM, and you're good to go. So there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to point you in the right direction. Get downloading Homebrews today and enjoy yourself.